Hi everyone and welcome to another video. So today we are going to look at an Excel functionality. It's called absolute references, and absolute references are basically used to lock a cell or the value in a cell so that it doesn't change when you copy or fill a formula from one cell to the other. Okay. And two particular use cases I would say is when you want to reference a constant value throughout multiple calculations, and when you want to create calculations which is relative to a fixed point. And for this we basically use the dollar symbol. So you have the option to either lock a column value or a row value. You can also just lock the column value or just the row value. So let's see how this works. I have a small table for you here. So we have a few products and then we have prices against that. We'll try to calculate the final amount by subtracting the discount values, which are the fixed values. We also call them baseline values because these values are not going to change throughout our calculation. And what we'll do is we'll try to calculate the final amount by keeping these two values constant. Okay. First, we'll look at discount number 1 and try to calculate these fields. And then we'll look at discount number 2 and try to calculate these fields with just using a single formula. Okay. Let's see how this works. All right. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and do a simple calculation. So I'm going to say, I'll start with equal to, and I'm going to say price minus discount 1. So my price is in cell C5, as you can see. Put the minus symbol there and select discount 1, which is in cell G2. And I go ahead and press enter. And the output is 85, which is correct, right? 100 minus 15 is 85. All right, let me now try to copy the formula to the cells below. So you can just copy paste it or just use this particular flash fill option. Okay, so you can just drag it below using the plus symbol that you see here at the end of this cell, or you can just double click it, which I'm going to do now, and it will fill the formulas for you. Now, this is interesting because this value is correct, 85, but the second value says 200. Let's see what happened here. I'll just double click so that I can show you the formula. It says cell C6, all right, which has the value 200, which is fine, minus G3. Let's see what's there in G3. So G3 is here and it's empty. Now, why is it empty? It's empty because when we try to copy the formula from this particular cell, which is cell D5, what happened is, if you look at this formula, it was earlier C5 minus G2. When it moved down, it changed to C6 minus G3. All right. So what's changing here? The column is remaining the same, which is column C, and column G remains the same. But if you notice, the row number, that is 5 and 2, increases. Okay. So 5 changes to 6 and 2 has now changed to 3. So when you move down, your row number increases. However, your columns remain the same. Okay. So how do you fix this? I mean, one immediate fix here is I'll just go here and I'll just freeze this particular value in G2, that is 15. All right. Now, how do I freeze this? There are multiple options. I can just select both of them, or I'll just start with first. I'll introduce a dollar character here. Sorry, the dollar character here, and I can just right before the row number, I can type the dollar character again. So this is how you introduce cell references. Now what happens is the value in G2 is frozen, and when I try to copy the formula, this particular value will not change at all. There is another way you can freeze a cell or lock a cell. That's by just selecting it, and on your keyboard you can press the F4 button. You can also try it with function F4 if you have enabled function. So I'm going to do F4 and there you go. Okay. Now this is the keyboard shortcut if you want to freeze the cell. Click on enter. This value will not change. Let's try to recopy the formula. I'm recopying it and bingo. So now it calculates it perfectly. And if you notice, when I move from one cell to the other, just notice this particular value, it will not change. Okay. While the column C values keep changing, the values in G2 remains the same because we have already frozen it. Now this is interesting, right? Let me try to copy this formula from the left to right. So what we did is we did it from top to bottom, and now we are gonna go from left to right. So all I can just do it just I did the last time. I'll just click on this plus button and I'll drag it to the right. Look at the output. The output says 70. So what we are doing is price minus discount 2. That is 100 minus 35. The output should be 65, but we are getting 70, which is incorrect, obviously. Let's see the formula. What happened here? Now, in the formula, you will notice that since we moved from left to right, C5 has now changed to D5. All right? Because these are not frozen, but the frozen value is G2. So it's basically what it's doing is it's calculating 85 minus 15. That's 70 for you, which is incorrect. We want 100 minus 35. Now, how do I fix this? I'll go back to my original formula and I'll see what all needs to change and what all needs to be fixed here. Okay. So when I move from top to bottom, I want my row numbers to change. I don't care if I don't want my column to change, right? So what I'll do is I'll fix my column here. Okay. Sorry, I want my row numbers to increase, but I want my column to stay fixed. All right. So if I want my columns to stay fixed, I can just introduce a dollar before the column. So I have now fixed my column, but my row will still keep changing. And what I want here is from this discount, when I move to the right, I want my column to change from G to H. Okay. But I don't want my row to change. So my row here is 2. If I move from 15 to 35, my row will still be 2. Okay. So what I want to do is in here, I want my column to change. So I'll just remove the dollar that I put in here. But I want my uh, row number, that is 2, to be the same. Okay. I'll go ahead and press enter. You can see the value still remains the same. Let me try dragging it down. You can see nothing has changed. The values are correct. So basically C is not moving. The row numbers are moving. Okay. And if I just drag it to the right, let's see. Perfect. So this is the output I want. I'm getting C5, that is with the column fixed and variable rows. The column fixed and variable rows. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it down. And there you go. So 200 minus 35 is 165. 300 minus 35 is 265 and perfect. So just by using a particular cell, just by typing our formula into a particular cell and locking the relevant rows or columns, we have finally figured out how to copy our formulas without errors. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are liking the videos that we have shared in the past, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this particular video, please hit the like button and I'll see you with another video very shortly. Thank you.